listening to AEW, and if you have YouTube, and who doesn't in this age, you're watching AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling with Tony Schiavone and Aubrey Edwards.
Hello. Hi.
How you doing, Aubrey?
I'm doing great. It's a gorgeous Monday morning in Seattle. The temperature has dropped significantly, but I'm not complaining because I live here willingly, as I have frequently discussed with our guest today.
And why don't you introduce our wonderful guest today for us?
We've got Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, 2.0. Very, very happy to have you guys. Let me raise my coffee mug.
Yeah, cheers.
Yes, sir. Cheers.
What's going on?
It's a cat. It's so there's this awesome place in Jacksonville called the Caffeinated Cat. It's like a cat cafe, and they just have cats with like
the cat
this
cafe.
One has like he has like 2 teeth. His name's Jaws.
Oh.
His little bandana. He's like the police officer there. It's great. Highly recommend.
I like it.
This is a podcast about coffee and cats.
Coffee and cats. Coffee and cats. With Tony and Aubrey.
Shivani's already done. What are we doing here, guys?
And thanks for being with us on AEW Unrestricted.
We'll see you next time, folks.
In all seriousness, we're very, very happy to have our guest here today. It's a long time coming. We've had to reschedule this podcast like 3 times, so I'm very happy that we're here. Especially like, oh my God, you guys have had an incredible few months. I think I had this conversation with Matt recently, but like you got fired. You got rehired. You had matches with Sting and CM Punk, and then Matt had a baby.
Yeah.
So this is like 2021 for 2.0 is going real well.
It's been a wild ride. It's one of those deals where it's like we can't even try to understand it anymore. You just kind of strap in and just, yeah, of course we're fighting Sting.
Yeah, you have no idea what's around the corner, what's coming tomorrow. Who knows?
No idea.
You know?
So what's it like just stepping in the ring knowing that Sting's on the other side?
It's really hard to actually put it into words, to be quite honest, because I mean, this is a guy most everybody on the roster has grown up watching, right? And he's the icon, and that's not just some moniker that you put onto him. Like, this dude is, I mean, he's pro wrestling in a way. So when you get to stand across and you're about to mix it up, and we've learned the hard way.
I was just gonna say
that when Sting's coming at you, it's on.
You got to be ready. This guy is a madman.
It is.
He's coming at you. He's there for a fight.
So that awestruck moment doesn't last very long because you're about to get in a fight.
It's chopping you in the face.
I think working with Sting, like one of the things that I really enjoyed with it is you forget that he's actually like 62.
Oh my God.
He hits as hard as some of the guys that are 20 years old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't hold back.
And he just wants to go. Wants
to be in there. What a sweetheart too. Yeah. Sweetheart of a guy. Like,
wonderful.
I can't say enough good things about Sting. How nice and generous he's been with us.
Just the man. He's just the man.
The man. Speaking of the men, you guys have quite a history under your belts. I'm going to run through a couple of your accomplishments. I'm also going to butcher the name of the Chikara tag titles.
Okay, yes,
so this will be fun.
I never got that down either.
No.
The Campeonatos de para... It's the Chikara Tag Team Champions.
Good
twice
enough.
over. Yeah. One-time Combat Revolution Tag Team Champions. 2-time International Wrestling Syndicate Tag Team Champions. 1-time North Shore Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. 2 times Northern Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions. And then you guys have both been on the PWI. Jeff, you were number 266, and Matt, you were 277. How does it feel, Jeff, to be slightly better than Matt?
Wow. What year was that?
Yeah, what year was that? It flip-flops back and forth.
That was 1986.
Oh, that was a good year.
Thank you, sir. It was a great year.
86, I had a great year.
That was 2013, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Here's the thing with the PWI rankings and stuff. Unless you're like in the top 5, does it really matter if you're 266 or 267? I've always wanted to be dead last, to be honest.
To be share number 500.
Yeah, that would be cool. 500 would be great. Now that's something to talk about.
Who remembers who's 362? Nobody remembers that, right? You're going to remember number 1. You're going to remember number 500. Maybe the top 10. Maybe the top 10. Yeah.
Maybe.
But, this has probably been our most successful year, I would say.
Oh, for sure.
Not ranked. Not ranked this year. Who's doing these rankings? Is it Bill Actor?
I don't know, man.
Who's doing these rankings?
I don't know, man. Who's doing these rankings? 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 Who's doing these
It's not Bill Apter. Bill doesn't even know his name now. I say that I say that because I love Bill. I do. He's nitty.
Another sweetheart.
But I love him. I don't know who does that. It's not Stu. I don't know who does that anymore. So, well, listen. Regardless of that, whatever you ranked, here you are in AEW. We've already talked about your reaction about getting into the ring with Sting. You made your debut at Homecoming and on 8/4, and talk about your journey and how you got into AEW.
Wow. So getting into AEW started by getting fired from WWE.
Yeah.
That was the big first step.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
First step. It was the first domino that had to fall.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a very terrifying time because, you know, as you mentioned, Aubrey Matt just had a child, so his wife was expecting at the time.
Yeah, I mean, we were maybe 7 weeks out when we got let go. And then you got to figure out how am I going to make a living? There's immigration issues because we're Canadian. Are we going to have to move back? We obviously don't want to move back. You know, want this kid to be American, give him some options.
Yeah, a little anchor baby.
A little anchor baby.
And, you know, we've been here for the better part of 3 years of our lives. So we've kind of set down roots. You know, we have our way of life, and you don't want to necessarily go back home permanently. And especially if you have to move back to Canada, as far as wrestling goes, your options are substantially
especially
high.
during the pandemic.
Especially during that. So that was the biggest part of what do we do? How do we figure out that? So the first leg of, you know, after being fired was kind of like trying to figure out that part more so than, well, what are we going to do as far as wrestling goes? Like that had to be secondary because we couldn't do anything until that was figured out.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily for us, you know, we know a lot of people in AEW. You know,
when you've been around for a long time, you make a lot of friends.
You make a lot of friends.
Yeah, it's very important.
Put in a couple of calls, just being like, "Hey guys, look, if there's anything you do for us, obviously, some people think, well, if you have a friend, they'll get you a job. Doesn't work like that. They can, at the most, probably get you an opportunity or at least put a good word in.
They'll give you a dark match at tops, and then
Exactly.
at that point, it's up to you to get everything else.
Right, and that's kind of the trajectory that it was. It was like, oh, maybe we'll get you in for dark. Like, yeah, no problem, as long as we can get a foot in the door and try and see if we can work something out. And so that was kind of the first progression, and then that went to talking, and then we get a call just being like, oh, well, Tony has an idea for you on Dynamite.
Out of nowhere. Like I got a call from Chris Harrington. I don't know if he minds if I say his name on a Saturday night at 10 p.m. And he goes, so we're going to bring you in on Tuesday. We're just like, what?
Wait, what?
What is happening here? And then we get another call where Jeff, you ended up speaking to him after that Sunday. Phone call. Yeah. Where he says, I think Tony has an idea for you guys for Dynamite. And we're just like, what is happening right now?
So the whole tornado of what this last while,
it just happened so
process
fast.
Has been like that. So that's where it ended up being our debut on Dynamite there at Daly's place at Homecoming. So that's what kind of led up to that one.
Yeah, I guess Tony had an idea of this 6-man tag. He wanted to use Moxley, Darby, who am I forgetting?
King.
Moxley, Darby, and King together as a trio. And he had that idea, so he paired us with Daniel Garcia to get it done. And it just meshed really well. Like, that match could not have gone any better for us. It really could not have.
So I want to talk about your adopted son, Daniel Garcia, because you guys you clearly have an idea. Daniel Garcia gets paired with you guys. Clearly, hottest name on the indies. I use air quotes because he's with us now, right?
Yeah.
Right. But dude wrestled Suzuki this past weekend along with CM Punk and Alex Shelley. So you get paired with Daniel Garcia. How has the pairing with the three of you been?
Absolutely fantastic. I really couldn't have asked for anybody better to be paired up with. And it's always a terrifying thing when you just get thrown together with somebody because chemistry is a big thing.
You have no idea. We were kind of familiar with him. He's a Northeast guy too from Buffalo, and he would wrestle in our area in Montreal. So we were familiar with him. But Tony had us do this promo, I guess, to announce the match for Dynamite. And it clicked. And we just fed off each other, and he listened and we listened to his ideas, and it just meshed so well. We could not ask for more, We
were actually talking the other day at TV. It was just kind of we've been together for a few months, but it kind of feels like
forever.
Years.
Yeah, it feels like we've known him forever.
Very fast friends. Love that kid to death. He's so freaking talented, just wants to learn and wants to get better at every single time. And what I love about it is this dichotomy of like, you have us that are like really over the top and loud,
and he brings
a bunch of
that ass kicking edge to him.
Exactly.
You know, he brings that ass kicking edge, and we both wear red and black.
Yeah. So
what are we not going to team?
Yeah.
It was, and I think you guys will agree, for him and for you guys, the CM Punk match was pretty special. I really think Punk did a great job of working with him. It was great. You guys did a great promo leading up to it, talking about CM Punk and coming back and looking out for himself. That all was good. It all was from the moment that you guys did the interview to the moment you guys went out. It was a good segment.
Yeah, I was just sitting there ringside watching it. You kind of know that you're seeing something like, oh, this is very, very good.
It's good.
And then getting to watch it back, you see. And like you said, Punk, a pro's pro, an absolutely pro's pro, did right by Daniel. Daniel did right by Punk. And just, it was one of those things. And you never know how two people are going to match up, right? The first time you touch, you just never know. Yeah, it was just fun to be that close to see that match.
And even that interview segment we did, the $3 with Mark Henry there, Punk could not have been cooler. Like he just said, say whatever you want to say. Like nothing bothers him.
No,
just say whatever you want, and I'll just feed off of it.
I love those $3.
Yeah, those are a good time. Those are a good time.
All right. So we put Daniel Garcia over. It's now time to put you guys over a little bit more. Is that what we're all about? You've known each other since grade school, right?
Yes, sir.
How'd you discover pro wrestling?
The third grade.
So I personally can't remember if there's like a distinct thing that like I remember wrestling, but I do have a memory of Saturday mornings. WWF Maple Leaf Wrestling was the local show that we got. I remember sitting there with my dad watching that. So that was kind of my first memories of it.
Yeah, there's this story my mother likes to tell of the lead into WrestleMania 4 where Hogan loses to Andre and he gets screwed right by one of the Hebners. And it was a Friday night. And my father had gone out to play hockey.
How much did they pay for the plastic surgery?
And I just would not stop crying, like just inconsolable. And my mother did not know what to do with me. I was like 4 years old at the time. Yeah. So I guess that's my first memory of.
So we definitely grew up wrestling fans, and obviously in school, we've known each other since the 8th grade. So we were the wrestling kids.
Third grade.
Third grade. Yeah, we're 8 years old. Yeah. Third grade. Sorry.
Get it right. Peace.
Yeah. You think I'd know this story?
You would think we would know the story
so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were the wrestling kids in school, and then the Attitude Era came in, and that was kind of like almost everybody was the wrestling kids in school.
You didn't have to be ashamed to be a wrestling fan anymore in the Attitude Era.
At first, we go to school with our WWF magazine.
Is anybody going to see this?
Allowed to read this?
Oh man! Yeah. So you guys obviously develop a friendship. You have wrestling, and then eventually we get towards backyard wrestling. You guys had Shaggy Pro Wrestling.
Shaggy Pro Wrestling. No, we forgive you. It's a very I guess, is it French?
Yeah, it is French.
Chateau Gay.
Yeah,
I guess French.
It's French.
Yeah.
It's called what again?
Chateau Gay Pro Wrestling.
Chateau Gay.
That was the suburb of Montreal.
They got it down pretty quickly.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Suburb of Montreal. We lived in. And of course, backyard wrestling is you get all your friends to do it. It started out with just us in Matt's basement.
Yeah, that's right. At one point, you get thrown off the ropes, right? Well, there's no ropes. It's just the drywall.
It's a basement.
And I went through the drywall.
The video of this still exists.
It's good stuff.
It's absolutely.
Wait, what? There's a video.
What, do you do backyard wrestling and not film it?
Of course you're going to film it.
Well, it's like there's one thing if you film it and it's like on VHS or if it's on like YouTube
it's on VHS somewhere. I don't think it'll ever see the light of day.
Oh, I think it should.
Well,
I think it should. Absolutely should.
We do have a YouTube channel.
Okay. There you go. Explain this spot to us now against the ring ropes.
Basically, it's an Irish whip into the ropes. And Matt had just a little too much steam.
Yeah, a little too much steam. So I kind of put my shoulder into the wall guys, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, what am I, 15 years old?
Yeah.
And my shoulder just goes through the drywall. Giant hole. And my father, he wasn't too pleased.
I imagine so.
He was not pleased.
The amount of stuff that we broke around the house,
the chairs,
in our backyard days, because we would use the plastic deck chairs as our top rope when we graduated to the backyard. So jumping off of those, they'd always shatter.
It just snaps, explodes. The guy takes a tumble. Time of our lives, guys.
It was
the time of our lives.
Eventually, my dad ended up tying up some garden hose between two of the trees we had in our backyard.
We had taken a step up. This was
really
big time
stepped
now
up
that
the
we
production.
We had a side of ropes.
Of course, because you have one side of ropes. What are you going to do? Battle royal.
You got to do a battle
over
royal.
the top.
Of
Battle
course.
royal.
Dumping people over the top rope.
Oh man,
Yeah.
we're talking to Matt Lee and Jeff Parker of 2point0. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about their indie days.
Very exciting.
This is AEW Unrestricted. Tony and Aubrey talking with the wonderful 2point0 recent signing tag team of the AEW roster. Super excited to have you guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is great.
Hey bud.
We're happy to
bud.
be here. Hey,
Having
bud.
a blast.
What is it? Canadian?
Hey, there, buddy,
Canadian.
guy.
Speaking of Canadian, you guys got your start in Montreal.
Yeah, we
And
did.
What was the Canadian wrestling scene like up there?
So when we started, it was the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
So out of Montreal, there weren't many, so they had Jacques Rougeau, who was still involved and still at a school, right? So it was kind of when we started, it was like, oh, of course, we're going to try and go to Jacques Rougeau because he's the only guy you knew of. It's not like it was a budding indie scene where you now know that there's multiple places.
I mean,
running shows
there
in your
was,
area.
though. There was an indie scene, but we just didn't know about it.
Didn't know.
I guess like Google wasn't a thing like we, you know what I mean? We're 16 years old. You don't know how to find these things. So there was a radio wrestling program in Montreal that we'd listen to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. And we actually, we'd go watch the pay-per-views at a bar with these people. Like, they would host, pay-per-view parties or whatever. And we ended up becoming kind of friendly with the hosts, and they pointed us in the direction, right? That's how we found out about indie wrestling in Montreal, basically.
So, and we asked them about, is there a school to get trained? And we're 15, 16 at the time. And they pointed us over to Jacques Rougeau.
Now, you want to get into it?
Do we get into it?
Want to tell the whole story? All right.
Oh, now you have to.
Hey, if you got a story that involves Jacques Rougeau, we want to hear it.
All right, here we go.
So
For wrestling fans,
15, 16 years old. And we get this opportunity to go and try out at Jacques Rougeau's wrestling school. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, this is crazy. Our minds are blown, right? This is Jacques Rougeau, Intercontinental Champion. This is crazy. Guy we grew up watching on television. Local legend. Give it to us.
Yes, I did slap him in the mouth, and I'm the one that turned the career around of the Dynamite Kid. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So my dad drives us over to where the school is, which is maybe about a half hour away from where we live. Because again, we're 15, 16. We don't have our driver's license yet. And, you're freaking out. You're intimidated. It's crazy. So we get it was inside of a pro gym, and we go in, there's the ring set up and everything. And they're kind of holding a class already.
Yeah.
So he goes, oh, hey guys, come on in. I'm going to show you how to do a thing or two. Okay. Okay. So we get into the ring.
We're getting in the ring here. What is happening? And he says, okay, I'm going to give you a body slam.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. So he picks me up. He does it. It's fine.
No problem.
He picks Jeff up. He does it. It's fine.
Because again, Jacques Rougeau, a professional wrestler, he's a big man.
Isn't that weird
picking
to do?
Up 15, 16-year-old
who don't know what they're doing. It's very bizarre.
Very strange.
Yeah.
And then he goes, now you're going to give me a body slam. Now I'm 15 years old. I'm maybe 140 pounds soaking wet. Maybe, you know what I mean? And he's a big guy. I don't know. Well, what's he weigh? 230 maybe?
Yeah,
What's
maybe
he, 6'2" or something?
6'2", something like that.
So, okay, he's like, this is what I'm going to do. He kind of shows you how we're going to do it. So he says, now you're going to body slam me. He had slammed us completely, okay? So I pick this guy up. I have him. I'm struggling to hold him. You don't understand. I don't know what to do now. So I just dropped him.
Just literally
I just put him down the best way that I knew how. He is furious.
Oh, he got up.
Gets up in my face and starts pushing me.
You have no respect for the business. I give you my body.
Yeah. And I thought he was going to slap me. This is Jacques Rougeau. I'm 15 years old. I just dropped him. He's getting in my face, completely intimidated. It was terrifying. And I found out later that, so Kevin Steen or Kevin Owens was trained by Jacques Rougeau, right? Apparently this was a thing he would do.
Yeah.
To new prospects.
Yeah.
I
Just
don't,
like
I
a
don't know.
hazing thing.
I don't know what the goal of it was. Respect for the
Also,
business.
speaking
I
of
don't
Kevin,
know.
I remember he had 2 of his students show us some of the stuff that they work on, and there was one guy doing a whole bunch of RVD spots. Turned out to be Kevin
was
Owens,
him.
Kevin
Yeah,
Steen. That
that
was
was
the first
him.
time we
Hey,
met
there
him.
you
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after obviously getting irate at Matt, now he goes into salesman pitch. He's like, "Oh, I see a lot of potential in you guys. I think you could be big stars." So we leave this place and we're like, "Oh, we're going to be huge wrestling stars. This is fantastic." We're driving back home and we're excited. He's a little traumatized.
Well, I'm terrified. No, I shit my pants.
And then I'll never forget, my dad's just driving the car and he goes, "There's absolutely no way I'm giving that used car salesman $4,000. It was just the amount that he wanted in 2000.
It was a
The
lot
dream
of money,
died right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4,000
Well-
in Canadian or
Yeah,
US?
Canadian.
No, Canadian.
In like
Okay.
2000, which is a lot of money.
Oh,
Hey,
that's a
you
lot
know-
of money.
You know what? Hats off to your dad.
Yeah.
Hey, right call.
It was the right call. Yeah.
It really was. Because
And then, so he would put on these shows, and a couple months later, he had a show. He was going to wrestle King Kong Bundy, and he had to pull out of the show because he was hurt, Rougeau. And so I like to say that it was because of me, you know?
Yeah, put him on the shelf.
Yeah,
on that
dropped
body
him on his neck.
Took him right out.
Oh my God.
That was our
Yeah,
introduction.
so that's
to
the story.
pro wrestling.
Yeah. And then a year later, or I guess it was about a year later, right?
Okay.
We got pointed. We found the indie scene in Montreal. We found a local company who ended up training us. And when I say train us, taught us a collar and elbow and how to bump, you know?
right.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
like halfway there at that
And
point.
get out there.
Figure the rest
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, you ought to do something on TV about Jacques Rougeau. I don't know, just hammer him on TV in some subtle way,
Yeah, why
I
not?
don't, yeah.
Maybe we're the new
You
Mounties.
Maybe
used
we
car
are.
salesman, you. That's great. Your dad really
So-
knew.
So Montreal scene's not really all that bustling, but then in February 2006, you guys debuted at Chikara.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's Chikara. There's a lot of history there, and there's a lot of Chikara people at AEW. I think the first time I saw you guys, I'm like, oh yeah, they're Chikara. They'll be here. It's fine.
Right.
We're definitely gonna sign them. There's too much. Too many of you guys. It's awesome.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Talk about your Chikara experience.
Chikara was amazing. It was really one of those, you see how many people are now on the AEW roster. It was just this group of insanely
It's a special group.
talented people.
Who maybe didn't get like the respect that they always deserved for one reason or another.
It was,
you know
it was
what I mean?
almost like the land of misfit toys
Yes, yeah.
for a little bit
Yeah.
of time. Because you had these guys who were, didn't fit the mold of what wrestling was exactly at the time, and ourselves included. Like, we were bringing 1980s wrestling, and at the time the ROH style was the big hit thing, and it's like, we don't really do that. But I found that Chikara, in a way like ECW did at its heyday, was really good at highlighting everybody's strengths and really pushing them in that direction.
So they would put out DVDs and they do promos for the DVDs before your match, and we got to do one. And Mike Quackenbush, who's the owner and the guy who runs Chikara at the time, he just loved it, and that's why we got to stick around. Really, was just our talking ability.
Absolutely.
Thank God we learned how to talk. you know?
Man.
Thank God.
Oh man.
Hey, I've always said, guys, it's one of, if not the most important thing you can do.
You know,
Big stars were always able to talk, right? The
Yeah,
guys who made
absolutely.
money, they could talk. So
And I think that's just as kids, that's what influenced us. It was seeing the promos.
that guy like Chris Jericho and The Rock, obviously, guys like that. Everybody could talk. You know,
sure.
So it feels like it's something that's ignored a lot of the time by up and comers, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And when you're coming up, you got to find a way to stand out. And we're never going to be the best high flyer. You know what I mean? There's already people that do that. So we have to find a different avenue. Like, what can we bring to the table? And that's kind of what we do now. Yeah.
And with Chikara came the fan base. And I think that's
Yeah.
really what made it special is they really bought into what the product was. It was so different. It was very like comic book based. And this is just on the cusp of before comic books were kind of cool.
Mhm.
Like when we were in school, someone who read comic books. got beat up.
A real
Right.
nerd.
It
Mhm.
Real
wasn't,
nerds.
it wasn't in pop culture.
Right.
and at this time. Like
What changed that?
So
Was it Spider-Man?
there was an X-Men movie in
Yeah, that's right, one of those.
2001, I
Yeah.
want to say, and kind of just opened it up. But that's kind of where it started to be, and Chikara kind of fell into that. So it fed that niche market that was looking for that, a melange of comic books and
melange.
wrestling.
Very
So
nice.
That's
that's
a fun word.
passionate.
That's tremendous. Are you guys comic book guys?
No, not even not even a bit.
No comic
I think
books,
we
no
were the
video
only
games.
people in Chikara who didn't wear masks. Who else was
That's
King?
true.
Larry Sweeney.
Yeah,
That's about it.
that's about it.
Dustin.
Bryce.
You're not
Well,
covering
Bryce.
stuff.
Yeah, Bryce.
Oh, masked referee. That would be
something.
that'd be something.
I mean,
Bryce. Man, there's so many people in AEW who went to Chikara. I don't know. We took a
so
picture
many.
a couple weeks ago. It's just crazy.
I feel like every week at TV we can take a picture because there's somebody
Yeah.
from that town who was in Chikara in some fashion. So you could take that, reunion group picture. But Chikara was an absolute blast. I don't think we're here without Chikara. As a matter of fact,
No, there's no
we're
way.
not
There's
here
no way.
without Chikara.
There's no way.
So big factor in our lives.
Yeah.
What inspired the Bad Boys gimmick?
What did inspire?
So that came from our backyard
That's-
wrestling company.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
God, I just called it a company. My goodness.
This is six bozos.
Yeah. And Matt's girlfriend filming it.
Yeah. There was two guys called the Bad Boys in our backyard, and it wasn't us.
No.
And they were identical twins, but they're obviously not identical twins. The thing was the commentators never knew which one was which. So they would mix up who was who. So we just eventually said, screw it, they're identical twins.
Identical twins.
So we can't tell them apart. And why did we start doing that? Just for fun.
Yeah, we just
Right?
started doing it for fun at a local indie, just to do something different, just have something silly to do. It was kind of a comedy based place.
Well, we based it off of like the old Powers of Pain, Demolition, LOD. Like we're supposed to be these big jacked up guys that squash people. And we're identical twin biker brothers.
And of course, you wear just denim. We ended up doing it in Chikara
boy.
just as a way to evolve the characters that we were playing. Because it was kind of like, at first we were just lovable losers, really good at talking, but we did not win a lot of matches. So it was kind of like that idea of like putting a fresh coat of paint on to get back to being, our real selves again. So that's where the Bad Boys came from.
Yeah.
I also like the spelling of Bad Boys, and I
The
appreciate
double D.
it. BADDBOYZ.
Oh, Z.
Like
Z.
it's the double D and the Z that really like takes it to the next level for me. So
Brad
real
and
impressed.
Chad.
You guys ended up going to NXT. Biggest lessons you learned there that you carry with you now?
Man.
That's a great question. Grab a hold.
Grab a hold. Thank you, Terry Taylor.
Yeah.
Jesus, criminy Christ.
Slow down.
I think it's
Slow down.
It was learning how to wrestle for television, because that's such a different monster than wrestling in a room in front of 20, 100, 500,000, whatever it is. Even a sold out arena, doing a house show is completely different than TV. TV is its whole different animal. So I think and when it comes to slowing down, there's moments where you do things on TV that if you're just standing there still or just holding something, and you feel like you're in that moment for an eternity.
Oh, and when you watch it back, you're like, oh, that was not as long as it felt at all.
Because there's the quick cuts, the cameras, and everything. So I think going through that system is the polish of how to be a professional TV wrestler other than just a professional wrestler.
Yeah, that's a good answer. You're right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. And I would imagine two young men from Canada now employed in the WWE system was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it was great.
It was the
right?
goal,
It was the
Right.
I mean, I would dare to say, especially at the time, that's should be everybody's goal. You know what I mean? If you want to, AEW wasn't around at the time,
And it was even special because for a certain amount of time, guys like us would not get signed by WWE. It was legitimately impossible, right? Because the edict was if you're under 6 foot
or
200 pounds,
under 30 years old or over 30 years old,
we're not even taking a look at you. So it was that time was just like, it's not going to happen.
And then the doors started opening up. Things changed, right? Like somebody, like a guy like Sami Zayn, or Brian Danielson, right? Really changed.
Got in, and it's kind of that opened that door to like, oh, being an indie wrestler is kind of okay.
It's not so forbidden. Yeah.
So getting signed there was fantastic. Like, it took a long time. The whole process took the better part of 3 years. A lot of ups and downs on it. A lot of yes, but not right nows, and we'll be in touch. Don't sign anywhere.
So,
this and that.
Once you get there, you realize, oh, you're just dumped into a system.
Yeah,
you're like there's no plan. Like you got to figure out how to show the powers that be, the people in charge, what you bring to the table. It's It's a challenge. It's a real challenge.
Because unless you're a chosen one that that's being hired with the intention of being a this or that, you're just in the deep water, and you got to figure it out. To get to the surface. Figure somehow. It out. It's crabs in a bucket in a way. Everyone's just kind of climbing up, but at the same time, someone else is pulling you down a little bit, not intentionally, but it's just the way it goes. Right. So we had to figure out on our own. Hey, how do we make some noise?
Yeah,
and that's why we started a YouTube show.
Yeah. Yeah, got to show these people that we can talk, because I don't think they know.
Yeah, I don't think they know at all.
Yeah. We know now, buddy.
Hey, appreciate it.
Talk about that YouTube show, the show rules.
The show rules.
So this started off as Everrise Live, which we were doing on Twitter at the time. And so our new show started with, again, being fired was the first step of it. We got our release from WWE on a Friday.
A Friday afternoon, and
it just so happens that our show was on Saturday mornings.
So
the second we got released, you deal with those emotions real quick, and then it comes to
we have to do the show.
We got to do a show.
We have to do the show. Like, you're never going to have more eyes or ears on your program than you will tomorrow morning, right now, right?
Yeah.
So we had to capitalize on that, and fucking hell, that's what we did.
So that night that we got released, we filmed our show, and it came out the next morning. And then from there, we just started building up this YouTube channel, because now, hey, we can do all of this on our own. We can do what we want, how we want, and we're still figuring it all out. Like, we know we have the show. We moved it over to Sunday mornings at 10:30. So that's clockwork. That's going to be there every week. And we're still developing other stuff we want to do. Like, we stop in and do Q&A chats with fans and stuff like that. And we're still it's still very grassroots, small, like, it's a growing channel right now. You know what I mean? But it's an absolute blast.
I feel like you kind of have to have a YouTube channel if you're an employee at AEW. Like, that seems to be the way that it's going.
Yeah,
it's nice that you guys have claimed Sunday as your release day.
Don't even think about it.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are already taken.
Yeah.
Sunday morning. Easy like Sunday morning.
Get your coffee.
There we go.
Get your breakfast. The show rules on YouTube, and get a taste. How about that?
There we go. Get a taste. Well, coming up, we're going to get a taste of some fan questions here on AEW Unrestricted.
This is AEW Unrestricted. My name is Tony Schiavone, along with my longtime close personal friend and certainly talented Aubrey Everett.
Certainly talented. You feel like you had to say that, like you forced it.
No, I say, I'm sincere about it when I talk about you.
I know you. I know you. I love you.
I love you too. And here are two guys with us who we've really enjoyed talking with, and obviously we love their work and the way they can talk.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I gotta say, having these headphones on and now Tony's voice, very soothing.
Yeah, very soothing voice. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying
this is great.
This is a blast. Yeah. I'm having a great time, guys.
Look at Tony.
What a stud.
Tony's
okay.
No wonder he has 5 kids.
Time for fan questions. Thanks everyone who submitted them on Twitter. Aztec on Twitter. If you could face the Young Bucks for the tag titles, which of the 3 matches would you choose? A street fight, a cage match, or a ladder match?
Street fight. No question about it.
Not a fan of heights. So that takes cage and ladder match right off the table.
What am I, coming off the top of the cage?
Yeah, coming off the top of the cage. Yeah, no,
I'd do it. I'd do it if I had to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no thanks. Street fight it is.
Give me a street fight all day. Not even close.
Yeah, I feel like once Phoenix did the jump off the cage, it's like, okay, well, that's like the minimum. Now you have to exceed that.
You got what's next?
Not for me.
Gonna put a ladder on top of the cage. You're gonna come off the ladder.
Don't say that out loud. Someone will get the idea and do it. Like,
good for them. Good for them. Ain't gonna be me.
Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, there's a lot you could do with a street fight.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. That's true.
You could go all over the place, you know.
Christopher Landis on Twitter. In Chikara, you upgraded from 2.0 to 3.0. Why are you therefore going back to 2.0 instead of the logical upgrade to 4.0?
It's a great question. Good question.
Very muddy.
Good question.
I think it was just one of those deals where it's just kind of going back to who we were really before getting signed to WWE. Like, 3.0 was a Chikara thing. That was the Chikara idea. It was like, okay, sure, that's what it is. But 2.0 is what we were all the way up into it. And at the end of the day,
ultimately, it was
Tony Khan likes 2.0. So
it was Tony's call. Yeah,
2.0 it is.
There you go. I agree. Whatever he says works, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Kurt Nick. For Matt, what was it like? And I think we touched on this, but you can expand on it if you want, Matt. What was it like meeting the real Sting?
Wow. Well, that was something. That moment, like in that match where I'm going into that match, that 6-man tag, I wanted to somehow figure out a way to come face to face with Sting. And as the match progressed, the planning of it turned out there was a perfect opportunity for it. And I don't even know if I'm answering the question, but come face to face with Sting and have Darby take me out, and the cameraman is right over Sting's shoulder. It's a beautiful shot, and that gift goes crazy. And I think that's what got us our jobs in a lot of ways.
Certainly played a factor in it.
But
no question. No question.
God bless the real Sting.
It's cool. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
Every time it's
such a caring individual. So great. Fantastic guy to work with. Ben F. Silverero on Twitter says, do you still have access to your time machine from Chikara? And if so, would you go back in time to change anything about your careers?
Oh, that's a really
that is a great question.
Getting deep with it.
Go back in time and change anything?
We don't have the time machine. Archibald Peck has it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it is.
Where is Archibald Peck?
I don't know. We've completely lost touch with him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's back in parts unknown. I don't know.
We were in a movie, guys. Chikara made a movie.
It was wild.
And where we went back in time and what's the car's name? Back to the Future.
DeLorean.
Yeah, that brought us back. It's insanity.
Here's the thing about a DeLorean. It's a 2-seater.
Oh, yeah.
With 3 people in it.
This is on a live show.
Figure that image out.
We drive through a garage door in Easton, Pennsylvania. In the middle of a show, there's smoke, and we get out of this car. The people went bananas, guys. It was crazy. What was the question?
Would you use it to change anything in our careers? I feel like I have to say no, because everything's led to a place where really couldn't be happier with everything. Like life is great.
Life is pretty great right now. It would have been cool if this happened maybe a little earlier in our careers. Sure. But I don't know if we would have, it changes so much, your maturity level and things like that, Yeah, I don't think I would change anything.
Nah.
Go back and beat Brock Lesnar.
Oh, that would be great.
Why not? Well, I'd end the streak.
That's right.
That's what I would change.
Bill Tony wants to know about your experience watching the Stanley Cup Finals in person, being such diehard fans.
Yes, we went to a game in Tampa for the Lightning against the Canadians. It's awesome. Going to a Stanley Cup Finals is awesome. We were talking about this the other day. A big difference between coming from Montreal, which is like a mecca of hockey and sports, is that passion is so strong.
Yeah.
Tampa has a good fan base.
Yeah, but do they really care that much? I don't know. Florida sports fans kind of fair weather. Yeah, right.
No, we can go to Disney. Something else going on.
Life is too good.
Good in Florida.
There's too much to do.
Yeah, too much to do.
But it was still.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited in particular because the Kraken have their first game tomorrow from when we're recording.
Oh, that's right.
I'm excited to officially become a hockey fan, so I'll have to hit you guys up and.
Well, yeah, we can talk about it.
It's great. Yeah. Hockey's
I don't know dick all about hockey, so this is going to be good. I just know our logo is pretty dope.
It is pretty good. Nice colors, too.
Hey, and gentlemen, welcome to AEW Unrestricted, where it's guaranteed that Aubrey's going to say the word dick.
Oh, that's
okay.
Dick
so
or fuck? Not even in the
everyone
same
should place
dick.
Be good to place bets on like the timestamp of when
the over/under
going to come out.
Oh yeah.
Which segment? Yeah. Which segment?
Yeah,
it's typically earlier. We took a little bit of time on this one.
What took so long? What took so long to talk about dick?
What a late dick.
Yeah.
Hang on,
late
Jeff.
dick.
Did you just say when the dick is going to come out? Didn't you just? It ain't on this show. We ain't talking about it. Okay. All right.
Maybe your show, not ours.
There you go.
All right. Kurt of Elliott, when you got let go from WWE, who were the first people you wanted to wrestle?
Ooh, I don't even know if I have an answer to that question.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because I didn't really give it much thought. Like, the day you get let go, the last thing you're thinking about, geez, who can I wrestle?
Yeah, it was more like,
what am I going to do with my pregnant wife?
How can I keep my life together? I don't know if there was anybody that really popped into mind, but there's tons of good tag teams out there in AEW around the world. So, and the fun thing is we've wrestled most of them, throughout the years. So I've been saying this before every time this question comes up is it's just going to be fun to do it again, where now all of us are even more mature as performers and professionals. So it's just going to be fun.
I really want a piece of the Pride and the Powerful.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
those guys,
Oh.
the inner circle boys
yeah.
there. We've wrestled them a handful of times.
Maybe some of that good
Yeah.
brother ass too.
Oh yeah, a
Right.
little good brother ass.
All of them.
Little good brother ass.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I love it.
What a
Absolutely.
taste.
By the way, if you haven't realized, we are talking to 2.0, as you can hear, as you can plainly hear, kids who can really talk, and we've got some very serious questions.
Oh,
This is from
yeah.
Victor
Let's
Victor
get salacious.
Borio. This gets very.
Oh,
this-
Vic-
Victor.
Big friend.
We know
Big friend
Victor.
of the show.
okay, well then you know about this question. What time of day does the wrist tape come on? After you brush your teeth?
You know,
After you brush your teeth or before?
I was gonna put my wrist tape on today, but I went through my luggage and realized I had no more, so I got to pick some up at TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's after the teeth brushing. It's after
Okay.
the teeth brushing. Can we get serious? Obviously, it's after the teeth brushing.
You
Gotcha.
gotta wake up, brush your
Yeah.
teeth, tape goes on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, another serious question. This is from Zach on Twitter. How do you take your coffee in the morning?
Black,
Straight black,
instant,
Damn
black.
right.
A heaping spoonful.
disgusting.
Black.
Disgusting.
What brand of instant?
I can't remember. What's it called? No, I don't know. I can't. You know,
Oh,
I'll send you a picture. I can't.
Right. So-
yeah, it's
There's
Go ahead.
there's a big contingent of coffee people at AEW. And the big
Yeah.
one is like Jerry Lynn. I don't know if you've talked about coffee with Jerry Lynn.
No,
but
I don't think I have.
He sent me videos of his like Keurig setup. Like he's real into it. And
It's too
he
much.
introduced me to Bustelo instant coffee,
Yeah.
which I have
Yeah.
now bestowed upon Vicky Guerrero. So there's
Mm.
there's a big group of us that are real big into the instant coffee at AEW.
instant coffee. It always gets shit on. Everywhere I go, people want to shit on me loving instant coffee. It's quick.
No.
You put the teaspoon in, you boil the water, and you're done. See you later. You know, I'm
Right.
not
You
waiting.
have it set up in the morning in your hotel 'cause you
Done.
don't want to have those little coffee pods in the Marriott. Those are shit.
Oh yeah, the hotel coffee is just straight garbage. I'd take instant coffee over hotel coffee, and I hate
Yeah.
instant coffee. So
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Instant coffee is just brown water, guys.
yeah, it's
Oh,
gross.
take it
Come
easy,
on.
Tony.
Okay.
It's a cup
You need-
of
you need
mud.
to cool
It's
it.
disgusting. What are we doing? We live in a
How dare you.
society here.
Gets you going.
I don't know if we mentioned this or not. This is from Kimmy Martinez. Who's your dream guest for Chew of the Week? And why is it Kevin
Yes.
Steen?
Kevin C would be a
He'd be a
show
good
to
one.
me.
Dream guest for Chew of the Week.
Tony Schiavone is one of them.
Yeah,
Tony's
Tony.
got
I would.
it. Yeah, we need a Tony. Chew
Yeah,
of the
we're
Tony
gonna do it.
S.
We need it
Tony
really
S.
bad. I don't know if there's a
Ooh, I wanted Kingston, and we got Kingston. Like that guy has a lot of anger inside of him.
a lot of issues.
If you don't know what Chew of the Week is, so we love chewing gum. Okay, so
Right.
you chew a piece of gum and you chew somebody out. Like, what's your pet peeve?
Something
you have
that
heat with
pisses you
somebody,
off.
something that pisses you off. You're telling somebody off. That's the Chew of the Week.
Yeah.
This week we had a Colt Cabana. Come
He
on, man.
was a little confused.
He thought it was Jew of the Week.
Yeah. So, I mean, Cole Cabana
So
was
he
the
was-
Jew of the Week.
he was the first Jew of the Week on the
congratulations
program.
to Cole Cabana. Yeah,
That's classic.
Yeah.
Jew with the chew.
It's great
Jew with
stuff.
the chew.
exactly.
All right. Well, thank you guys. This was absolutely incredible. You both of you
Blast.
are hilarious and phenomenal wrestlers, both on the microphone and in the ring. Very, very happy to have you as part of our AEW family.
Hey, we're so happy to be here.
We love being here.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's really rejuvenated our love for wrestling.
Has it ever?
And
Has
I
it
know a
ever?
lot of people feel that way, and it's really cool to just be around and just doing stuff like this.
Come on.
with yourself.
We're
and-
sitting here talking with Tony Schiavone.
on.
Are you kidding me?
Come on.
Voice of our childhood.
Yeah, life is
He's a big deal.
Life is great.
Thank
Don't
you,
forget
guys.
their YouTube channel, The Show Rules. You can listen to follow this podcast, AEW, wherever you get your podcast. That's free, by the way.
Ooh.
And also leave us a rating that I won't read. Okay. And check out the video episode on YouTube. Just search AEW Unrestricted. But we got a lot of TV shows, don't we, Aubrey?
We do. We do. We've got Elevation on Mondays. We've got Dark on Tuesdays. We've got Dynamite Wednesdays and Rampage Fridays. You can watch Darks Mondays and Tuesdays on YouTube, and then Dynamite and Rampage on TNT for now, but eventually Dynamite will be on TBS starting January 5th.
Got a special Dynamite on Saturday night, this Saturday, October 16th, live from Miami on TNT. And Roads to the Top with Cody and Brandi right after Dynamite. Again, it's all coming up on TNT on Saturday. Thanks a
I
lot,
am Aubrey
guys.
Edwards.
Heck
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll get you a good baseball hat soon, Matt. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Piece of garbage.
shots
Tony.
Yeah,
fired.
Piece of
the
garbage.
freaking Expos are
They're coming back. They're coming back, Tony.
Really?
Yeah.
To Puerto Rico?
And look, we don't like to talk about 0304, okay?
Okay, you got it.
Oh, man.
open
All
room.
right. I'm Aubrey Edwards. This is Tony Schiavone. Thank you so much for listening to AEW Unrestricted.